Look at her. That beefy little meat machine, huh? That beefers. Oh, yeah. Oh, she's such a chunker. She's such a chunker munker. Yes, she is. Fat boy, how you doing? Right here being just a solid guy. All right. Oh, hey there. We started. Oh, my. Hello, everyone. Welcome to The Crash. We are deep in it now. There'll probably be some dead cat bounces around here. If the prognosis for government shutdown is really likely, then expect more drops in the market. If they somehow manage to pass a funding bill to keep the government open for a little while longer, expect to see a little green bounce to it. But almost everything absolutely just got railed today. Tesla's down like almost 40 points, $40. SPY is down 20 plus. The Dow is down over 1,000. Just in crypto got hammered. Like all people that claim that crypto is some sort of hedge against the markets are lying to themselves, because crypto cannot be used as collateral for the markets. So if you are a hedge fund investor of any kind and you've got both, you sell your crypto first so you don't lose everything in your stocks. And all of your margin there. So you need to have cash on hand. So you're going to sell the crypto first. So that was very much canary in the coal mine yesterday, as everyone down. Twitter got hammered by Dark Storm. Apparently a pro-Palestinian hacker group took it down like 5 times in a row today, all day. Elon is trying to claim it was Ukrainians, even though Dark Storm, I think, has Russian origins. Also was discovered during the hack that the x.com domain is hosted on servers in Russia. So, that's interesting. What else is happening? Europeans are basically saying, hey, we're not going to order any more F-35s because we're afraid that there's a kill switch in it and we don't trust America anymore. So we're going to invest more into Eurofighters and other European weaponry. And so basically, Trump has already killed the U.S. Defense industry. So that's now toast. What else we got going on, Monkey? It appears as though Trump is no longer allowing the military to give intelligence to the Ukrainians, but instead is offering satellite images to the Russians, so the Russians can make specific targeting of Ukrainian forces that they were not capable of before. So we have now crossed the line and become part of the axis of evil. So that's cool. Yeah. Well, at least a bunch of Tesla dealerships got smashed and destroyed over the weekend. And Elon is now fearing for his life. He's like, they want to hurt me. I mean, really, dude? Like, don't be a piece of shit and people won't want to hurt you. It's kind of how it works. Like, hey, if you work for the enemies of democracy and destroying the government and ruining America, people are going to want a bad outcome. That's just how it works. That's just karmic backlash. If you were a cool person who did good things and used all that wealth and power to like make people's lives better, they would build statues to you and revere you, which was the image you were cultivating, for a decade. And then one of your sons turned out to be a girl and it broke your brain and you became a Bond villain. It was also revealed today that the IVF treatments that he's been doing with all of the ladies who have his kids is that he selects for males. He does not want daughters. So he wants only sons, and he will only have sons. And if he has daughters, you terminate the pregnancy and make sure you have a son next time. And so his one of his sons from his first marriage becoming a daughter and becoming trans is literally what broke him, because he hates women that much that he cannot stomach having a daughter. So happy day after International Women's Day, I guess. So, we're blowing up. Oh shit, didn't happen. Try again. Okay, and All right. Oh my god, do with nub. First seems like a debate for GME swaps. Seems more like a debate. Seems more like a debate. A debate? A debate? I don't know what a debate for GME swaps means. Jack Burton. Second. BTB brand, this administration sucks. Big time. James Perigo, third, and then BTB brand corrects him, and you're fourth. Juice Mammy, stock market crashing, planes crashing, rockets crashing, Twitter crashing, Trump's America crashing. You know, like, there are people in organizations who hold everything together. You know, they're the glue. They understand how every system works. You know, they might not be the CEO. They might be an executive assistant, some middle manager somewhere, but they're the true people who like keep everything together. We fired all those folks, all those type A personalities that know how to do, you know, purchase orders, know how to send packages, know how to take in shipments, know how to like payroll gets done, know how to find office supplies. Like, we fired all those folks, all the type A personalities, and everything is now just imploding at a rate that is apocalyptic. Like, fat cat, shut the front door. And you know, like, if you were born at the end of the 19th century, you went from horse and buggy to motor cars, to airplanes, to jets, to rocket ships, to the internet. Like, you went through this like speed run of technology over the course of your 70, 80, 90, 100 years of life. I think we're doing the opposite now. I think we're speed running the destruction of everything. I'm going to take that cat. I'm going to give him shaken baby syndrome. 1 sec. Hey, fatty. You turd. Come here. Come here. Just stop yelling and be a fat little bugger. I've got your butt. I've got your butt. It's the greatest feeling you've ever had. Yes, it is. Okay. Yeah, we're like speed running the apocalypse. It's pretty remarkable to be at the end of a civilization. I mean, I'm sure everyone in Rome probably saw things like this happening. Like, wait a minute, the water stopped coming when I poop. It doesn't go anywhere. But at the same time, they were all lead poisoned. So it probably didn't register as much as it is for us, where we can document everything, photographs and videos and written word and accounts and YouTube just kind of highlighting all of the rampant destruction that we're sort of ushering in with our destructive personalities that we have. We really need to make sure that everyone has access to a therapist in this country, because we are so self-destructive. Have you seen any clips from the Jubilee video with Saylor? It's remarkable the number of gay men of color trying to pretend like they're straight and being Christian conservatives to them. And these dudes are so deep in the closet, they may not even realize it. But the self-hate they have, whatever trauma they grew up in, they're internalizing that, and they're going to be anything but that gay guy that they are. And so, I mean, Sam just absolutely obliterates all of them. The one guy who's like, well, they get tax breaks for DEI, and Sam's like, the government doesn't pay taxes to itself. Yeah, the FDA doesn't pay taxes. Yes, they do. No, dude, they don't. It's just, oh my gosh. Ah, kitty. Yeah, just a little turd. Everything's turding out. Okay, Cameron Mirza, can we get a monkey treat in celebration of Tesla crashing? Of course we can. Look at this. Yeah, monkey, you want the last of the dehydrated liver pate? Is that what you want? Oh, kitty, you want some liver pate? I got a little crumble here for you. You want that? Little nugget. You seem to like that smell. Come here. Put your mouth out. Put your mouth out. Right there. Lick it. Lick it. Yeah, there you go. Oh, you actually took something from my hand? Amazing. All right. Little pate for the fat guy. Oh, isn't that great? Isn't that great? Yeah. Yay. Mike Housen. Hey, would you do a show with Hey Ross? I would. Ross and I met, actually the week Monkey Butt lost her leg. He came to the island to talk to a lawyer and we had lunch together. I would totally do a show with Ross. Ross is very, very, very intelligent, very well read, knows how to synthesize information extremely well, competent in his fields of expertise. I would definitely do a show with Ross. I could nerd talk with that guy all day long. So yeah, I should text him and just see if he wants to come on and do something. Attaining Oneness super chats. I would also like to fatten up Monkey Butt and Chub Batman as well if possible. And holy sugar honey iced tea, Sam Sater was so patient, and those 2-3 dudes uber gay. They were so in a closet. Oh my gosh. Well, just don't be gay. I'm like, well, that's something a gay guy would say. Like, if every morning you wake up telling yourself, I'm going to be straight today, I'm going to be straight today, I've got news for you, dude. You ain't straight. No one else wakes up telling themselves that. It's not even a second. Feel free to be who you are. I understand that you might come from a really harsh family that would disown you and you might face horrible consequences. But in the end, you know what? You're going to be happier. I work with a woman who grew up in rural, like flat Colorado, in eastern Colorado, and very conservative family, went to very conservative church. And, you know, she just repressed who she was. She just was like completely asexual. She didn't even think about other people. And after college, got a job working with refugees in Idaho and started going to another church where she met a woman who she was like, oh my God, this woman's incredible. And then they both realized they were gay and now they're married. And she does not talk to her family, or should say her family doesn't talk to her. And we've had a long conversation recently about that. And she basically describes it as the best thing that ever happened in her life because her family were so hateful and so miserable and, you know, butted into everyone's business at all times. And they were just bad people. And she finally got away from those bad people. And I get it. Like you grew up, you were raised by, etc. Like there's a lifelong connection there. But there's a reason why a lot of people, when they turn 18, never talk to their parents again. Because their parents were shitty parents. And you don't owe them squat. You don't owe them a damned thing if they're shitty parents. You're an adult now. You don't have to live in fear of them. Oh, I'll cut you out of the inheritance. Okay. You can be like me, someone who's never going to have an inheritance. live your life. Live your truth, man. You need to go in front of Sam Sater and get absolutely steamrolled to an international audience where everyone thinks you're the dumbest person they've ever seen put a microphone in front of their face. We talk about Dunning-Kruger and effect, man. It's pretty phenomenal. Just live your truth. Live your truth. It's you being gay, bisexual, trans, etc. does not actually affect anyone else's life. The only lives it affects are the people who are so angry they don't get to live their truth. And so they lash out. And that's basically what it comes down to. That's why you see like Grindr go nuts at the Republican convention. Because a whole bunch of guys who are like secret, I mean, I think they must get like absolutely turned on by the fact that it's like clandestine and like wrong. And that must really like do it for them. But in the end, I think it just like poisons them and turns their souls dark as night. So yeah, just live your truth, man. Live your truth. That's the easiest thing you can do. Unpack that trauma and live your truth. Go find someone to talk to. You know, go find somebody who broke that cycle in their family and see how their lives have improved. Just do it. Just do it. Okay. Monkey butt? I think I was supposed to give you another treat. We got pig ear. That work for you? Yeah? Oh. Woo-ba-doo-ba-doo. Nom nom nom. Yeah. Make some crunchy noises. There's a whole nother bag of pig ears after this one, so we got plenty of those. All right. James Perigo, happy birthday, Houston. Any updates on NoLabs? Saw the stock spike and then right back down. Any hope? I'm sure that they are figuring it out because it looks like they're back on the New York Stock Exchange. Good. The stock is way too far down. Its value, like the company should be $100 million company right now, and they're like a $3 million company, and that's wrong. It should not be, especially when they owe Lynn Partners $12 million. So they need to figure out how to get the FDA approval. The FDA needs to figure out how to be the FDA again and hire back everybody who did medical device research. And gotta figure it out, man. Gotta figure it out. I don't know what Ron's up to. I'm gonna see if I can get him on the show here in the next couple of weeks, and maybe he can kind of explain how they're gonna navigate all this. I know he's definitely not a Trump fan. He's one of the larger donors to the Democratic Party in Washington, so he definitely does not like what's going on back east. So we'll figure it out. But don't forget Tesla's crashing as well. Tesla's crashing so hard. Peach Sunday, happy birthday, Houston. Did you make money on your Tesla puts? I sold mine too early. I was in SPY puts today, and I sold those too early. I mean, I doubled my money, but I could have like quintupled or more it if I had just stayed in a little longer. The way the pattern was running last week was it would open low, go down another $10 or so, and about 11:30 Eastern time would bottom out and then rise back up about $10. And did that 4 of 5 days last week. And so I thought that pattern was going well. It got down to about 8:30. It was bouncing around 564, 565. I was like, well, it touched just below 564 at one point. I was like, I should have sold then. So I sold, was contemplating buying calls, and the account I was trading on was below $25,000. So I was going to get a day trading ding. So I was like, well, I'll wait to the end of the day and I'll buy something for tomorrow. And I should have just held. I would have made so much more if I just held on. But it's okay. You know, sometimes you don't get the peak. That happens. Sometimes you ride right through the peak, which happens a couple times last week. But I think there's a lot more to go. Before it's all said and done, the SPY will be at probably 300, 250, maybe even lower when this is all done. Like, I wouldn't doubt if we see a greater than 50% drop in indexes like the SPY, simply because we're destroying our international market. What manufacturing we do have, we make high quality goods that want to get shipped elsewhere, and no one's going to buy that anymore. We have totally just cut off our nose to spite our face with the global community, and they're not going to buy our products. They're not going to buy our booze. They're not going to buy our cars. They're not going to buy our, furniture, our sweaters. They're just not going to buy it anymore. It's done. We have ruined ourselves on the global marketplace, and we're going to become a pariah state. And probably, if it keeps going this way, we're going to be facing international sanctions, embargoes. It's fucked up. And so we're going to shrink. Our quality of life is going to drop. And there you have it. Right, Monkey? You're expecting it. I'm expecting it. Bob Dole's expecting it. So there's a lot further to go. A lot more plays to be made. Now, there will be dead count bounces, and that kind of wipes some people out. So if you see that happening, just flip into calls all of a sudden. Ride that wave up for a day, and then get out, because it's going to go right back down again. Lone Wolf, I want to give a shout out to Elon for helping me with my financial situation by giving me some money. I mean, hey, let these assholes play themselves and benefit from it. Might as well. So Good on you. Jack Burton, ever consider moving to BC, Houston? Your dollar will go far up there, and it's stunning. I actually spent a good chunk of my weekend looking at real estate in Whistler. I cannot afford any real estate in Whistler, but I've been looking at it. Anything from just the one-bedroom condo somewhere to mega mansions, ski and ski out monstrosities that I would love to be able to afford someday. Yeah. It's a real, I mean, it's if this country goes to shit, BC's right there. I'm a 2.5 hour drive away from the border. I'm a 1 day sail on the boat. It's a ferry. Like, it's right there. So if the thing goes to shit, that might be the quickest, easiest way for me to peace out, Girl Scout. So yeah. So definitely looking at BC. I wonder how much longer the US dollar is going to remain stronger than other currencies around the world, because without things like USAID distributing dollars around the globe, people aren't going to need them, and they're not buying our products anymore. And we're not shipping our dollars out to buy products from other people because of the tariffs and all the other garbage. I wonder how long it's going to last. She's in a box. She gets her stitches out tomorrow, little kitten. So that's good. Bill Coyne, economic uncertainty, shockwaves, and hardships create violent groups looking to blame someone, especially groups with military arms. Yeah, and you know what they're going to do? They're going to continue to blame immigrants, minorities, women, the LGBTQ. It's going to be all their fault, and not the fault of the two men lighting this entire country on fire. And when they finally figure that out, it's going to be too late. They're like, wait, it was Elon and Trump the entire time? Durr. Yeah. You tool? It was Elon Trump the entire time. Congratulations. You figured it out finally. After like laying your entire body on the hot stove for years and years and years, you finally realized that you just got played. Dude, kitten. Hey. Leave it alone. There, put it up there. Chill out. You cannot, yeah, you stick your tongue out like an idiot. You little mouth breather. Look at this dumb idiot. Look at her. Yeah, little tongue sticking out. You know, stupid dummy. Yeah, are you stupid dummy? You already smell like you've been peeing all over yourself. Gross, get out of here. Okay. Ugh. Okay. PDB brand, slowly but surely the changes are going to affect me in some way directly. How, I'm not sure. My guess is funding for cancer treatments for 2 people in my life get yanked. Yeah. I mean, they had people in the NIH hospital who were like undergoing surgeries to find out that their surgeons got fired because they were probationary. And now what? They're like, well, my nurses and doctors are all fired. I'm just laying in this bed in the hospital. What do? Like, it's so stupid. It's so stupid. You know? If Elon hadn't fired like 8,000 workers from Twitter, that hack today probably would have been solved in minutes. That's just the way it works. But no, he fired everybody. And so when the hack happened, it happened 5 more times, and then you couldn't figure it out because they're a bunch of 19-year-old doofuses, and that's what you get when you get rid of all the expertise. Sure, they can do some things, and they can like kind of make sure the car stays on the road, but they don't have the life experience to know exactly how to fight this stuff or make it better or strengthen it, and they're overmatched and overwhelmed. And you can imagine that there's among those 8,000 former Twitter employees who really, really, really hate Elon's guts. I wouldn't doubt some of them join some black hat or white hat hacker groups who are like, fuck this guy. I know how everything works on the inside. I'm going to help you. I wouldn't doubt that happened also. Just like we got Chinese and Russians trying to recruit now fired American civil servants, because those American civil servants know our secrets. They know the ins and outs of a lot of our computer systems. So like, what then? What do you do? What happens? making ourselves weaker and weaker and worse and worse. Beautiful brand, your hair's looking short. I cut my hair very short this weekend. Cause I cut my own hair and I was like, and it's very short this weekend. Once you go short, you're like, well, that's as short as it's going to be. So that's where it went. Derek Horse, it's Mario Day. That's not the worst. Mario Day. I don't even know what that means. Brennan Wells, sub BBBY, NoLabs. The BBBY bonds are going bonkers. They're up a couple 100% since Lemonis told everybody not to buy bonds. It's starting to make people think that there's going to be a payout for the bonds, or at least an equity swap for those bonds, which means there's going to be a payout for the shareholders. But the timeline, I mean, just do this, and then someday that will change. And maybe the hand will be full of cash. I have no idea. So yeah. QIP. Hey. Hello. Zappy. Shout out to Monkey Butt, Fat Cat, and the Kitten. We had them all make a guest appearance today. Right, Monkey? Yes. Murph and Turf Studios. Let's see which I've got cat hair. Came in my mouth. Get out of my face. All right, Burfdorf Studios. Been watching a lot of videos on van life recently. Any moderate win for GME, and I could tool around the US for a decade without worrying about money at all. Yeah, it's very appealing, isn't it? I've got some friends that retired young-ish. I won't quite call them like FIRE, the financially independent, retired early. You know, they're like early 60s, but they managed to retire, and they van life it. So in the summertime in the U.S., wintertime in the U.S., they winter in the Southwest, and they drive back and forth between Florida and Arizona, and they live their life. And then during the summers, they hop on a plane and spend 6 months backpacking, training it, traveling around. And then they write amazing little travel blogs about, we went to every town in Croatia, and this is where we went. And then we went to Bulgaria, and then we went to, and then the next year, like, hey, we hiked the El Camino across Spain, or we went to Greece and visited all these monasteries. It's a pretty darn cool way to live. I don't know how easy it is with a three-legged dog to do that, right? Oh, yeah. Monkey's problem right now is that she's slipped and eaten shit on the pergo pretty hard, and now she's scared of, like, the fake wood floors downstairs, and I need to get runners or something, but I'm moving soon, so, like... But yeah, I need to get runners so you can walk across that floor and not be scared of falling down and going boom. And then the other sad thing is her life in treats previously. We'd go into town and we'd visit all the shops. They always have treats for her, and I'd actually supply the treats for like half the shops in town. And they're like, oh, can you sit for me? And she's like, I want to, but I can't because I'm on slippery concrete. And if I try, I eat shit. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry. So you can see her like kind of do this. And then she's like, no. Just give me the treat. So, yeah, we can't do the sits anymore. Or we can on the carpet, but it's hard. It's hard on slick stuff like wood, polished concrete, right? Yeah. Oh, you little sweetums. Oh, that's the side that she can't scratch anymore. So you just got to get in there and. Oh, yeah, right. I see those eyeballs. I see them. BO Brand needs to get a trim as well. BR4V0. Happy birthday, Houston. How are things in the Ukraine? I saw some post of guys getting recruited, shall we say, off the streets. Is 26 the minimum army age? Yes, sharp haircut, dude. Things are not going super hot in Ukraine. There's one offensive going on in eastern Ukraine that seems to be okay. In the Kursk region, the Russians are making huge gains, and they think it's from them getting intel from the United States to make those gains. Fuck Trump. Although 100 special forces dudes died in a gas pipeline. They thought, oh, we're going to crawl through this gas pipeline, and then we're going to get them. And then the Ukrainians just suffocated them all to death. Oops. So yeah, that's that happening. Attending Oneness super chatted. I missed that. Well, JD Vance said September 24 that 12 eggs will be $4 at Kamala Harris economy. So suck it, liberals. The current price $11.99 for 12. Also, I sent a super chat. Thank you. Yeah. Imagine pining for the days of $4 eggs, right? Because they're 3 times more than that. Also, in Canada, they're not buying Florida orange juice anymore. They're going with Canadian brands that source their oranges from Brazil. So Brazil's getting a big old boon. Florida is getting another gut punch economically because there's 40 million customers who are now not going to buy their orange juice. So, oh well, that's a bummer, right, Monkey? Yeah. So, yay us. Woohoo. Julius Miami wellness check on Michael Saylor. Yeah. Michael Saylor is a pretty bad investor. He actually would have greater returns if he had just invested in the SPY than in Bitcoin. Like, people who bought Bitcoin are up like thousands and thousands of percent. He's up like 40%. So now he's probably down a lot because he made huge purchases when it was at $100,000. And his investors paid about $240,000 for those Bitcoin. So he's got a great Ponzi scheme going on, basically. I think Bitcoin's got a longer way to go. It'll probably be like 2022 when it went down to like 18,000. I think we'll probably see some sort of bottom out down there again as money dries up everywhere. And Cousin Sam, even more reason why I'm glad I ditched Twitter after Musk gave the Nazi salute. Peace out. Antonio Baez wants to impeach Trump now. It may come to that. He may make things so terrible for the Republicans that they're just like, we gotta. And at any time they can arrest Elon, strip him of everything he has, strip him of citizenship, and throw his ass in jail when he gets too far along. They can earn Throne that guy any day of the week. Paima Carmage 7 SOS. Ship is going down. Time to jump to the European market. Literally and figuratively. One of the merchant tanker ships that the U.S. military uses to bring fuels to military bases around the world got T-boned by a Portuguese ship and is on fire and sinking, I guess. And at least one crew member is dead. So yeah. European markets, especially European defense contractors, are just rocking right now. So it's going really well for them, for sure. Fred Jones, is it too late to get some puts on Tesla? How are your puts doing? They would have been doing well if I was still playing them. I played SPY puts today. There's still a lot further for Tesla to go. Tesla 150 and below. Fundamentals wise, it's probably a $15 stock. I mean, you just look at sales, profit, right? Growth. It's a $15 stock. They don't sell as many cars as GM or Ford or Toyota. Their growth is negative 50% right now. And their profit was selling carbon credits. So they'd sell about $2 billion a year in carbon credits. And to sell those carbon credits, you have to sell the electric cars and for the offset. And since sales are way down, which means they're going to be down $1 billion or more in carbon credit sales. So their profit's going to vaporize. They're also under serious investigation in Canada for fraud because the Canadians had a rebate, kind of like the US, where if you buy an electric vehicle, you get like $7,500 back, right? And they were ending the program. And on the weekend, the end of the program, Tesla put in rebates for their entire fleet in Canada, which means the Canadian dealerships bought the cars from themselves and then filed for tens of millions of dollars in rebates and then still put the cars out for sale using the rebates basically as the profit margin on those cars. So they committed fraud, basically. And the Canadian government, I don't think, is going to let this one slide, especially in this day and age where they fucking hate Elon. So Yeah, I look forward to the Canadian government stripping Elon of his Canadian citizenship as well. Just be done with it. Elon also was complaining about how South Africa won't give him a license to operate Starlink there, and the South African government had to inform him that he never applied for a license to operate Starlink there. So, woe is me. I'm white and they won't give me a business license. Like, you never applied for one, dude. He's such a little whiner. Saylor Sapien, Houston. BYQ bonds going nuts. Some rumblings of emergence could be within days. I mean, the rumblings of emergence could be within days has been going on for a year and a half. So I'll believe it when I see it. And when it happens, then maybe I'll buy that house in Whistler or in Italy or in Spain or in Greece or I don't know, something. It'd be really nice to get like, I don't know, millions, right? Here's millions of dollars. Cool. Yay. And then take that millions and be like, I'm buying 100,000 spy puts at 400 or whatever, and just watch it. And now I'm a cajillionaire. That'd be great. Wouldn't it, Monkey? Wouldn't that be spectacular? Oh, yes, I would. Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, is that what we got going on? We have little ear scratches. Is that just something? Oh, yeah. Oh, it's so soft. It's so soft. Yes, it is. You want to be a Canadian dog? Or do you want to be an Italian dog? At least in Canada, we can get Dare cookies, because those cookies... You ever had Dare cookies? The Dare fudge cookies? Those were like a package brand cookie. And now, we can't get them here anymore. I used to be able to get them at my local grocery store, and tariffs have resulted in not being able to get them. They have come in. Also, if you just get candy in Canada, it's better, because they don't have it all full of corn syrup. Like a Reese's Pieces, if you go to next time you go to Canada, bring an American Reese's Pieces and go get a Canadian one. Canadian one is vastly superior because it isn't full of corn syrup. It's like use actual sugar and peanut butter and stuff. And then they're vastly super superior if you ever go to Japan and have a Reese's peanut butter cup. They have like 10,000 flavors in Japan. Killer Reed, happy birthday, HW. Hope you got some UVXY for this historic crash. When I first watched you and from the craziness of COVID, I knew a recession would come, but with Trump, now a depression has entered the chat. Oh, yeah, it's going to be an economic depression. Just mathematically. Like, our economy is, what, $24 trillion a year? So $6 trillion of that is the federal government. So 25% of the federal government... Sorry. The federal government is 25% of the GDP, right? And we just shaved off $2 trillion of that. So that's 8% right there. That's twice what the global financial crisis was, right? Delinquencies on FHA mortgages are at like 1.7 million. These are numbers rivaling with 2008. Underwater commercial real estate mortgages, about $1 trillion worth, or commercial real estate bonds. So that's another 4 or 5% of the GDP, plus housing, another 4 or 5%. Airbnb bust. So we're at 16-ish%, right? And then getting rid of all the ag workers and people doing construction because they're undocumented immigrants, that's another 8 to 15%. So now we're at 24 to 29% GDP loss. Not to mention the fact that we're firing government workers, and some of those workers work at places, high touristy places like national parks that are going to basically be closed and off limits to people. We're going to be facing massive unknown storms because we fired the weather people. Airplane stocks are going to start dive bombing because the planes are dive bombing as a result of FAA firings. Food's going to start being poisonous because we're going to have no inspectors making sure that, listeria and trigonosis and salmonella and all sorts of things. Plus, we're going to have, unmitigated pandemics happen. You're seeing measles outbreaks, tuberculosis, dysentery, bird flu on the way. So just take all that jumble, add another 10% to that. So now we're like 24 to 39% loss of GDP. And we haven't gotten the tariffs yet. So the tariffs are resulting in U.S. not being able to sell anything outside the U.S. Well, we might be able to, we'll probably buy more things in the U.S., but we won't be buying things from Canada, we'll be buying things from China, we'll be buying things from Europe. So the competition is going to vanish for American manufacturers, which means the quality is going to plummet. If you don't have to compete with other products coming from around the world, then, you're going to stagnate. While the rest of the world innovates, we're not going to innovate anymore. There will be no need because we have a closed economy and they're forced to buy what's offered. And that's how you end up with an Iran, a Russia, a North Korea, a Cuba, right? Ostracized from the rest of the world, forced to make do with what they have with zero competition from the outside world and probably a robust black market for the good stuff. So there's probably another 10% or more of our GDP. So we're looking at 34, 40 to 50% of our GDP just gone based on the policies already in place right now by the Trump administration. The GFC was 4.5% drop in GDP. So we're looking to at least 10x that sucker if they keep doing what they're doing. And they're going to take all that cash, every dime they're saving with Doge and all their cuts and everything, and they're going to put that into a sovereign wealth fund that is managed by Trump, Putin style. So Trump is going to take all of our money and all of our wealth, and we're going to be left as mud people whose quality of lives deteriorate, whose, go from 40-hour work weeks to 100-hour work weeks to earn half as much while things cost twice as much. And the quality of those things are garbage. And, we're getting rid of Medicare and Medicaid and Social Security, which is probably another 10, 15% of our economy. So, the kids are going to be dying. The old people are going to be dying. The babies will be stillborn. And then the mothers are going to face criminal prosecution for having these stillborn babies that had no prenatal care and WIC didn't exist and SNAP benefits and, all this stuff. And then the women are going to get murdered by their husbands and boyfriends because they're not going to have rights of their own and be able to leave them and find safe spaces to go. And we're just going to keep spiraling from there. So pour one out for the homies. Okay. So Citizen 54, Houston. Time to buy puts? If so, on what? Not financial advice. Everything. I mean, if you are a rich person, you've got several $1 million in cash, I would buy pretty much puts on all the blue chips, the SPY index, buy some calls on DRV, which is the inverse housing, or the inverse commercial real estate, and one of those. Get VIX, UVXY, anything VIX related, get calls on that, because they're going to go up while everything else is just everything else goes down. So puts on everything. Everything is way too high. Sengle, meow. Rosemoon, hi all. Do you ever have the feeling that you can do so much or something really great with your life, but you don't know exactly what, so you do nothing? Or is that me having anxiety? Do anything. Sometimes all you have to do is just take a walk. Go outside, take a walk. Pet some cats, pet a dog, greet some neighbors. Because a lot of times, you just insert yourself into the network of humanity and life, and things happen. Right? You meet someone, they do something cool. You're like, hey, that's a cool thing. I just do something like that. And they're like, oh my goodness, let's do things together. And then all of a sudden, you got a posse, and that posse's out doing stuff. So, clown around. SPY 620. Ooh, when MOAS. If the market keeps shitting the bed the way it is, it could be right around the corner. There's going to be a lot of liabilities that are going to have to get closed out if this keeps dropping the way it is. Mark Kilpatrick, if Trump is a Russian asset, why didn't the FBI or anyone else in intelligence agency bring it up as a serious threat? So I don't know if you read the guy who was in charge of investigating Trump. Okay. This is from December 2023. Come on, open up. Open up. You got it. You can open. You can work internet. I know you can. I know you got it. Wait, that's Google Earth. That is not what we want. We want to turn that off. We want Chrome. We want that. We want this one. Why aren't you open? Oh, the FBI website's probably down. Oh, no, it's up. Here we go. Former special agent in charge of New York FBI Counterintelligence Division sentenced to 50 months for conspiring to violate U.S. sanctions on Russia. Basically, the guy at the FBI who's in charge of investigating Trump for being a Russian asset was himself a Russian asset. So that's why nothing happened. And he pled guilty, too. Charles McGonigal pled guilty. So that's why. The Russians managed to corrupt the one dude who was in charge of investigating the corrupt dude. And they never put somebody else in charge of that. I don't know. I think maybe they figured that Trump had enough court cases that he was going to go down before the election. I figured that much. But what's his butt? The AG, just absolute. Merrick Garland is just such a limp wuss bag that he destroyed everything. Hey, monkey, come on up, say hi to buddy. Come on. No, not there. Up here. Come on, up there. No, are you done? You done with your jumping? Are you done with your jumping? You're really too tired. Come on, monkey. Come on, buddy. You got it. Do jump. Come on, big jump. Whoa, there you go. See, you got it, buddy. You're so strong. Yeah, he's so much stronger than Merrick Garland. Merrick Garland couldn't do that. Take away Merrick Garland's leg, you couldn't get on Ottoman like that. He's too weak. He's too dependent on the norms. Absolute clown show. Yeah, so that's why. Jewish Mammy, Krasnov. Krasnov was the name that the KGB gave to Trump. That was his code name. So back in the 80s, he visited Russia, visited Moscow. Apparently, Ivana was working as part of that. They showered Trump with a whole bunch of loans through various KGB-operated businesses here in America. The televisions and electronics he used in the Grand Plaza Hotel came from a KGB front. Yeah, so he's been apparently under their thumb the entire time. Billy Mack, what's a good comeback against someone who talks woke as slang or a reason a city or state is bad? I mean, you can just call them a fucking idiot because that's what they are. But like they'll be like, "Oh, Seattle's woke." Okay, you can't afford to live there. If it's so woke and terrible, why is it the most educated city in America, or among the most educated cities? Why is it the average person who lives there make $200,000 a year? Right? Why do the Kamala Harris counties account for 70% of the economy compared to the Donald Trump counties? People are like, "Oh, the woke people, they don't work, blah, blah." Okay, dude who apparently works at 30% the rate of everybody else in the country. Like, when Ron DeSantis's lawyers were in their lawsuit or their fight with Disney forced the court, or had the court ask DeSantis's lawyers to define woke. And what they came up with was something like, there is systemic and systematic oppression by the government and powers that be. Wokeness is the realization of that and the fight against it, which does not seem like a bad thing to me, right? Like, you would rather be asleep? You want to be in the... For a lot of guys that use the red pill, blue pill stuff from the Matrix, they appear to want to be asleep in the pods because they want to be asleep and not awake, not woke. So Seems to be, but just call them losers. Knuckle-dragging, chinless dweebs. Don't see you shade them. I live in MAGA Mecca, Ohio. They're doubling down on their conviction that all of this is fine. The only thing that'll change their minds, starvation. And it's coming. Nebraska's heading towards bankruptcy. Now Oklahoma's headed towards bankruptcy because their migrants have left. They've left for blue states. They're like, why should I work? Why should I do agriculture in Nebraska when the Nebraskans don't want me here? So they're leaving. They're leaving Florida, right? Crops are rotting in the fields. Stuff's not getting planted. Farmers are defaulting on their mortgages because they're taking huge amounts of government assistance that has now been chopped off. Like, they have no one to blame but themselves. You voted for this. You voted to destroy your way of life. Congratulations. It's destroyed. And everyone else is going to starve as a result. So, I guess we can get in those bread lines just like Soviet Russia and beg for our handouts. And yeah. Attending oneness, any word on entitlements? Seen the news of Social Security Administration firings. Good luck finding check or notifying them you moved and need to update new address. Cuts in plain sight. Checks not going out. Savings. Yep. And the old people die. And then you're like, hey, look at all this money we saved. We aren't paying it. They're all dead. They starved to death. Grandma's gone. Oh, well. Her life was worth $2,000 a month. So we don't need that anymore. The insane misunderstandings of how things operate and what is and isn't government entitlements or handouts or whatever you want to call it is pretty phenomenal. There's a video that just replays over and over in my mind from the Tea Party rampages at town halls back in 2009 when the ACA, Obamacare, was getting passed. And there was this old guy screaming at his congressman going, keep your government hands off my damn Medicare. And the congressman is like, dude, Medicare is the government. Like, how do you impart knowledge onto such a stupid person? Such a loud, stupid person. It's like the folks who voted for Trump because they wanted to get rid of Obamacare but keep the ACA, not realizing those are the same thing. Obamacare and the ACA, two different names for the same thing, right? So now you do lose your health insurance. Cool. Good luck with your chronic disease, half of America. Not a mouth. How did you do on Tesla? Got 30K to throw back in. Tesla's got a long ways to go. I'm not sure when the dead cat. There'll probably be a dead cat bounce at some point this week, where things will pop green. But if the news coming out of Congress doesn't look good that they're going to pass a budget resolution to keep the government funded, then the long-term trend is going to be down, 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 down. I wouldn't doubt if Tesla finishes lower this week than where they are right now. We can look at the old TSLA options chain. I can spell chain, can't I? There we go. Okay. Okay, this is Tesla's options chain for this week. Now, calls, dying, good. And then we're going to switch down here and it's going to turn green. Some of these guys, if you had bought like 210s last on Friday, you're up 800+% right now. 217s, you're up 920%, 950% for the 220s, which is pretty close to where it is. It's at 220 something right now. It's at 222.15. So these 222s are almost in the money, and I wouldn't doubt if by the end of the week they are. It dropped from, it was at 260, I think, at close on Friday. So it dropped almost $40, launching this stuff into the money big time. Now, the premiums for the further out stuff You got this guy, you can get 100 of those dudes, which means if we drop to 195 by the end of the week, you're going to have well over $100,000. You're going to 3x it, no problem. They go lower than that, but the likelihood of it dropping $40 each day is pretty low. But I wouldn't doubt if it goes down another 20 by the end of the week. If you look further out, let's look. Come on, let's look further out. Let's just look like the monthlies for April 17th. Okay, so we come on. You can buy far out stuff like 100s, 115s for a month from now. These guys will probably go up quite a bit as we drop. We get down to like 170, so we're down another 50 bucks. These will probably go up 600-700% in that time, if it does that between now and April. And remember, Tesla has earnings that'll be coming up between now and then, which will show this. Remember, this is probably Q4 earnings, so it'll be the bad stuff that happened before the inauguration. The Q1 earnings will be the ones that will be really bad, and that will come June, somewhere around there. And by then, Tesla might be a $20 stock by then. They're going to be using up all their cash. So yeah, there's a lot to be had there. You look at SPY options chain. The SPY has got a long way to go. These options did very well today. A lot of them up 600%. They were up 800 and something at one point when it had dropped down. It dropped down to 556, 57, I think, at its lowest. So those things were way up. These are the dailies. So right at the close of the day, those things dropped to almost nothing. But if we look at further out for the SPY, like if I had a big old pile of money, I would look at something like June monthlies. I would look at something way out of the money, something like $300-400 somewhere around here, and just buy as many of those as humanly possible. Just load up. For some reason, the 405s are cheaper than the 400s. Whatever, because I think it's headed to this territory. We're down 100 already. It can go down another 100 or 200 in that time, especially since there's no good news coming out. All the news is bad. I would just load up. You get $1 million, you can get 5,000 of these suckers, and it'll probably drop below that, so you'll probably have $5 or $10 million by the time you get to June off of it. Even if you just play daily stuff, like some of these suckers, they're cheap. They're $60. You had 40% gain today on them. That's not so bad, right? Not too shabby. But you're looking for something in the hundreds of percents. How'd these ones do? Not that big. They're really expensive farther out. They're super expensive. I mean, thousands of dollars for ones that are near the money. So the can't get as many of them, and so you might as well lotto ticket on those suckers. But yeah. Alex Bishop, hi Houston. Will you please make a Reddit post about the American presidents that messed up or saved the economy? Please. I need it for my encounters with the MAGA people. Well, an easy thing to do is go to American recessions. Just the Wikipedia page for recessions, right? List of recessions. Okay. All right. So these are the list of recessions of the United States, and you'll see that there was panics and recessions. They list them all. 1700s, lots of them, lots of market collapses, depressions, 1815, recession. Then we get into the free banking era, and we have recessions, panic, recession, long depression, Second depression after the long depression. Recession, another panic, another recession, panic, recession, post-World War I recession, depression of 1920-21. So we had depression in the 20s. And then we had the roaring 20s, which we still had 2 recessions in that time. And then we went to Great Depression. Great Depression, GDP decline was 26.7%. That was the largest ever. These other depressions, we had 32% in 1920 depression. We had an 1873 one was a big one as well. 20 to 40%. So we have the potential to absolutely crush the record. Like, we can be number one with whatever recession we got going on. The recession of 37-38, that was when we tried austerity measures, and that didn't work, and that dropped us right back down again. With recession right after post-war, we had recession in 49, recession in 53. So Republican, not Republican. This is the last recession where a Democrat was in charge. 1980. From January 80 to July 80, the last time a Democrat was in charge of a recession. So this is 45 years ago, right? Republican. Great Recession, 5.1%. Republican. And we're about to have another one, a Republican. So for 45 years, every single economic recession has happened under a Republican president. And people can be like, well, the president doesn't have much in charge. Well, that's kind of a weird correlation. The fact that since 1953, right, every single recession except for one has been under a Republican. That's pretty phenomenal. Seems to be a very strong correlation there. Bill Clinton, when he gave his speech at the Democratic National Convention, and people wanted to yell at him about it, he was like, under my administration, Obama's administration, and Biden's administration, we've created 50 million jobs. Under George W. Bush and Donald Trump, we've created 1 million jobs. So it's pretty easy to show who is fiscally responsible and who keeps the economy plugging along. So if you ever want to do that, just show them this list and let them. It's very hard for diehard MAGA people to understand chronological order and how time works. I run into this all the time, having debates where they're like, "Oh yeah, well, Hunter Biden went to Burisma and they got rid of the prosecutors investigating them." It's like, well, okay. So the prosecution investigation ended in 2012. Hunter Biden joined the board in 2014. And then in 2016, they kicked the prosecutor out because he wasn't doing his job investigating people. Okay. The other thing they like to do is they'll talk about the Uranium One project. You guys remember Uranium One? It's the Russian-owned uranium mine out in Wyoming. It's like 20% of the uranium production in the United States. It was owned by a Canadian company. The Canadian company sold to another company. The guy who owned the Canadian company donated a buttload of money to the Clinton Foundation. This is like 2006. And then the company that bought it sold again to the Russians in 2009, I believe. And everyone's like, "Oh, Hillary Clinton let the Russians buy our uranium because, their owner gave $100 million to Clinton Foundation." Well, yeah, like 3 years earlier, but the dude is no longer own the company. Like, he sold to somebody else, and then those people sold it. There's several timeline. 2006 is not 2009. Granted, the whole reason why the Russians were able to purchase a mine is because Citizens United. It's illegal for foreign entities to own mineral rights on federal lands in the United States. But if you create a company, you create a citizen. So you just make a wholly owned subsidiary owned by the Russians, and then that subsidiary now can own a mining claim on federal lands because that subsidiary is now a citizen of the United States, according to Citizens United. So Yeah. Well, so there you go. That's the easiest thing you can do with folks who want to talk about messing up or saving the economy is that Republicans get people fired and cause recessions. Democrats get people hired and save economies. So it's a pretty is phenomenal marketing though. Like Bill Clinton saves the U.S. from a huge recession caused by George H.W. Bush. He manages to not only increase taxation on rich people, but saves the economy and creates a surplus, a $200 billion a year surplus. Americans are like, we're sick of this, and they elect George W. Bush. George W. Bush immediately squanders the surplus by doing a $300 tax credit to everybody. So we're in deficit again. Then he fails miserably when it comes to security of the United States, and we get 9/11, which causes us to go into a protracted war. He then takes a program that Bill Clinton created that allowed mortgages to be up to 5% of all mortgages be subprime loans so that underrepresented people can now become homeowners. And he, in 2004, makes that 20% of the total mortgages available. And then but in 2006, makes it unlimited. So any number of mortgages in the market could be subprime at that point. And that's when mortgage brokers go hog wild, because they can sell those mortgages for a lot more than they can sell the locked-in low-interest rate ones. And so everybody comes under these subprimes. We crash the economy, and 12 million people lose their jobs, and we are spending $1 trillion plus a year on deficit spending. Obama comes in. He saves the automakers. He cuts the deficit in half. He creates tens of millions of jobs, and we reward him by electing the stupidest motherfucker to ever be president of the United States, who then fires the pandemic response team, does huge tax cuts for rich people, causing $1 trillion deficits again, and then mishandles a pandemic that probably could have been stopped if he hadn't fired all the epidemiologists, which then drops us down 19.1% GDP. And millions go out of work. And inflation happens because we got to start printing money like crazy, right? Biden comes in, he's like, oh shit, we got this inflation problem. We're going to have to raise rates and blah, blah, be responsible. And millions of people go back to work. And we reward him by hiring the stupid motherfucker again, who is actively 6 weeks into his job, destroying the economy with every deliberate intention he could possibly have. How is it that time and time again, Republicans absolutely vaporize the economy? A Democrat comes in and fixes it and saves lives, reduces the deficit, and reward them by hiring a dumb motherfucker again. I don't get it. I don't understand. Well, he's a business major. Whoop-de-fucking-do. You know how dumb business majors are? They're dumb. They're real dumb. All you have to do is spend time with them. If in college you played a sport, 80% of the team was a business major. And they're meatheads. Absolute meatheads. What are you going to do with that business degree? Oh, work for my dad. I don't know. I fucked up buy low, sell high. I got C's in my business degree. Okay, George W. Bush. Cool. You can't run government like a business. Government is not meant to make a profit. The post office is not meant to make a profit. You provide services because if you don't provide those services, no one else will, and the economy will fail, and lives will be lost, and quality of life will deteriorate rapidly. We can't count on private companies to ensure they're not going to give us salmonella burgers, right? Because if they could, they would. That meat's 6 months old. We'll sell it anyway. Those idiots will eat anything, right? That's what they'll do. And without any oversight from the public going, hey, wait a minute, let's hold you to some standards, they would have no standards at all. None. Zero. They will get their quick buck wherever they can get it, whenever they can get it. And that's just how it works. So we need people out there to ensure that we build roads and ports and educate kids and get people health care and make sure they're fed, because private industry is not going to get it done. But there's this belief that the private industry can do it better. No, they can't. Proof in the pudding. 2014, the Veterans Choice Act, which for some reason Trump likes to take credit for, but was passed under Obama. The wait times of the VA, due to Bush cutting a whole bunch of staff and money and everything, wait times of the VA increased. The VA still had a higher patient satisfaction rating than any hospital system in America, but wait times of the VA had increased. And so they passed the Veterans Choice Act, which allows veterans, if they have a wait time going to the VA, to go get care at a private clinic, and then the VA will just compensate, right? And it was a miserable failure because they discovered the wait times of the private clinics were longer than they were at the VA. Oh, doc, I need knee surgery. Oh, it's a 6-month wait at the VA to get surgery. Oh, I'll get it done here at the private hospital, and it's a 7-month wait, right? So private industry does not necessarily do things better. Medicare operates at a 1% administrative fee to get your Medicare, your medical coverage. Your private insurance operates at a 30% or more administrative fee to get you your coverage. So no, private industry isn't doing that better. Private industry is not doing a better job when it comes to weather satellites, GPS, building roads. We subcontract, and subcontractors build roads, and they're stupid expensive. We could just have a national construction company that just work on this stuff all the time at cost. But no, right? We could have a national oil company. We've got trillions of barrels of reserves in this country. Instead, we sell off... oh crap, I gotta get going. I'm way late. We sell off leases that never get used, and then we make $10,000 on the lease rather than making hundreds of millions of dollars off the well, like Norway does and has a huge sovereign wealth fund. So yeah, Jelly Smiley's like, time. All right, everybody, I gotta go. I'll see you again tomorrow. I'm not sure what time. I gotta take my roommate to get the kitten stitches out, so we'll do that. Anyway, I'm rambling, so bye-bye.